What's up, Surgeaholics, Sooner Nation? Welcome to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. It's Sunday. It's Sunday night. It's 9:30. We do this each and every night. Mike Thorpe, longtime viewer, first time in the chat. So welcome in the Surgeaholic chat. The phone lines will be open later tonight. A lot of stuff going on. Former Sooners have had pretty good days in the NFL. Baker Mayfield, though, just fumbled. And it's a tight game there in Tampa, Jay.
Tight game. Dan Quinn's trying to give this game away by not kicking field goals, but they got the ball back apparently. So, hey, it's a no cap. It's a no cap Sunday, Jeremy. We need to do some no cap tonight. I don't have my cap on. You don't have your cap on. Maybe some no cap takes tonight from everybody. But it's kind of been you had the OU women's basketball play today. They won. Reagan Beers got injured. We'll see what happens. I would think today I watched some NFL football. I watched some of the Tampa Bay game. I watched some of the Broncos, Bills, Eagles. It hasn't been great games today, in my opinion. Do you think there has been?
No.
The Packers never really got it going. What's that?
What? I'm trying to. Germ needs a head coach.
No, you need a hat. I think they're saying you need a hat.
Okay.
Jaden Blue, Quinn, also Kelvin Banks, all off to the NFL. No cap, Benjamin Banner. No cap tonight. This game has been good, Hunter. I would agree. The Tampa Bay game's been a good game. Oh, needs a haircut, Jeremy. You need a haircut, bro.
Thank you, Pink Floyd. Appreciate the advice. Bucks and Washington's a good game. Any news on the DC? No. And I don't think there's going to be if the rumors are legitimate that Jim Knowles might be someone they're looking at. There's not going to be anything until after that game.
Way just
tomorrow night.
Wait, Tress Way just scored a touchdown?
They must have faked the field goal, Jay.
Oh, Washington just scored. Washington. Okay. So Baker's going to bring him back here. So we'll see what happens.
No, it was a TD, Jay. Daniels to Terry.
I know it was
on fourth down. So Quinn went for it again on fourth down. Wow.
I guess so. Just admit who your source is, Germ. Jim Knowles' fiance's hairdresser.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Man, Jaden Daniels is freaking good. Hey, you know who's
Kingsbury's going to be a head coach next year.
Hey, do you know who's unbelievable?
Who?
Mike Evans. Has he gotten better with his career as he's gotten older?
Oh, he continues to impress, Jay.
How's the guy? He gets older and he gets better every year.
Pink Floyd would rather have Baker than Hurts.
By the way, do you know what draft pick he was? Mike Evans, if you had to guess?
I do not.
Take a guess.
Fifth round.
Seventh pick.
Oh, he was that high?
First round, seventh pick, bro.
Did not know that. Where would he play college ball at, Jay?
A&M, Jerm.
Hey, just making sure you know.
Yeah, I know. He's a stud, man. So, and that guy can't guard him tonight. He's taking in the woodshed here tonight.
20-17. The Bucks have got to come back.
Bucks got to get the W, come back. Hoover says 0 chance.
I don't care. Hey, here's my question, Mac. If there's 0 chance, okay, fine. Why haven't they hired someone then? Are they going after Penn State's DC maybe?
Tom Allen, Germ. What about
Tom Allen? Do you think they're going after Tom Allen? I mean, he was a great coach at Indiana, Jay.
Aaron says AD was 7th round. What? I'm confused.
And I don't listen to Ohio State sports radio. I do know someone who's heavily a fan of Ohio State and follows everything Ohio State and knows everything about Ohio State. And they have not heard anything of that. But it's probably been under the wraps until the time happens to be where they can go do that. But again, the question I'll ask everyone in the chat is, if not Jim Knowles, then why hasn't it been done? Well, then you have to say, well, maybe they're looking at someone else who was in the playoff. Texas lost. I don't think they're going to go after Twitkowski. Tom Allen, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no clue. Nothing would surprise me. I mean, it just wouldn't. So we'll wait and see. I think it's going to be, you got school starts tomorrow at Oklahoma. By the way, Danny Stutzman graduated. He's going off to the NFL. He's graduated. Saw him post that.
And Mike, welcome to the chat. Glad you're here. Here's what I'm going to say on the comment, because what I say is the longer it goes, then there's a chance it's Knowles. I'm not going to say it's for sure Knowles, but to me, there is no reason this would be vacant if they had their guy. And Tom Allen, I wouldn't mind. He's good too, Jay, but
yeah, I'm not sure, man. I'm at a wait and see. We'll find out. Mac, his opinion was that Knowles wouldn't be hired. He said he had knowledge. That's the Hoover stuff, right?
Okay.
Is
Clemson
apparently what
trying to get Tom Allen.
What is?
Clemson trying to get Tom Allen. They're without a DC right now.
Can you imagine Clemson, Brent Venables and Dabo trying to go after the same guy? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
With Brent Venables.
And I agree, 918. National titles over next Monday. I would expect Jim Knowles to be on the phone Tuesday or Wednesday, or his agent, with OU to see what's happening.
Maybe so. I don't know.
Damon lives in Ohio. Damon lives in Ohio, and the Ohio State fans have not heard anything. Yep, it's been under the wraps.
Here we go. Is Jim Knowles a reliable candidate?
Harry, reliable? He's the top candidate if you want a DC. When I hear reliable, yeah, he's trustworthy. Now, is there a lot of credibility to him being hired? I don't know. A lot of it could be rumors, but there's something to it, in my opinion.
Well, and I see someone that Jimmy put Clemson should go after Texas DC. Guys, to me, here's the thing. When you're at these big-time schools, Texas, Ohio State, well, why would you go to another school? You're already at one of the top. The only way would be if you have connections with people and money. That's it. Connections or money. Other reason, there's no reason to leave. Why would you leave Texas? Unless you have connections with Clemson or money.
Hey, KB. Yes, if we're talking about a run-of-the-mill defensive coordinator.
If we're
talking about a Tom Allen, a Phil Parker, or the top dog, Jim Knowles, it doesn't matter who's head coach next year. They're going to want to keep a guy of that magnitude. That's what I got to say. I'm going to go bring in my own DC over the top three guys in the country.
Hey, it does matter for a guy like Wes Goodwin, though.
Oh, now, absolutely, for Goodwin.
Wes Goodwin doesn't have a job right now, so he'd probably take anything.
Tyler, I'll say it again. Back in December, Jim Knowles became engaged, has a fiance. She lives in Weatherford, Oklahoma. One of her sons is graduating from Weatherford this year. The talk has been, the rumor has been that she wants to stay here. I've heard rumblings of other things, but I don't like to speak on things that aren't at least something to it, and so I won't speak on some of those things.
Hey, I got to see. Lloyd says Waffle, the defensive lineman who was OU, was going after he committed in Penn State. Yes, I'm thinking Allen could be the choice since Waffle committed to Penn State. I'm confused.
No, to me that means Allen is staying at Penn State.
That's what I would think. But
I don't think Waffle would commit if they don't have a DC.
I saw something I have to ask. I see a lot of fired Joe C comments in here. If he was fired, would it Zach Selman do to play? Yes.
That's who I would say.
I would say the same thing. And I would think it'd be Zach Selman, and then he'd be so high up as far as the percentage to get it that it wouldn't even be close, I think. That's just my opinion. So I think it's been known for years possibly that he would be the next guy. Now, who knows if it is, but Joe C's still here. So.
Robert, you're correct. The Big Ten seems like the new king this year. Nick Saban did not leave because of that. Nick Saban left because of, the three-letter bad word, NIL. That's why he left.
And the Bucks are driving, people say.
Thank you.
Here, hey, we talked about this earlier. We actually just recorded a video to release tomorrow, I think, but talked about Beers. Yeah, her shoulder got injured. See how long she's out. I would kind of imagine they might, unless she's ready to go, you could sit her Missouri and get her ready for South Carolina, but who knows?
They got a good win today. That was a good win. Needed, much needed.
Yeah, that's right. Makes more sense if that is true. I didn't get why I would want to leave a top program. Not trolling. Yeah, it makes no sense to go to OU except for a situation like that. You're right, Tyler. You're not trolling. I mean, why would you? Why would anybody leave Ohio State right now and go to OU for the same position?
And I'm going to say another thing. I'm going to say another thing about Jim Knowles. And this, I have no source on this one. Believe me, when I have a source, I tell you. I don't on this one. But I do know that Kendall Daniels is at OU. Kendall Daniels played with Jim Knowles. Trace Ford has come out and said some great things about Jim Knowles. There's also, that reunion of him and Kendall Daniels and being back in Oklahoma. So they made a field goal.
So tied up.
Wait, they didn't go for it on 4th and inches? You're kidding me. It was 4th and inches. They don't go for it.
I'm not a big fan of Tampa Bay's coach.
Oh, I don't. No, Hunter, that is a horrible take. You play to lose.
Wait, where was the ball at? Let's get the scenario first. Where was the ball? Where was the ball at, though? Where was it at? How far was the field goal?
They lost yards. They lost yards.
How far was the field goal, Jerm?
I don't know. I'm not watching the game, Jay.
Robert says that's what he was saying. I see Nick was going to help Big Ten money get even. 4th and 3 was the.
Okay. They lost yards on 3rd down. I'm rolling with Fake there, though. Fake's going to do something to win in this game. So,
how much time's left in that game?
There's probably about 6 minutes. Probably about 6 minutes.
Nice. Hey, be ready for trivia. I got a good one tonight. 4:41 left.
4 minutes? Oh, man.
Got to get the ball back if you're Tampa Bay, so we'll see. Jaden Daniels is really good. He's
absolutely
good. Center screwed up. People are saying a bad snap. So, hey, I was watching
it or what?
I was watching the game tonight and just like mouth wide open, ooh and on over Mike Evans. The guy's a stud. I don't even know how old he is. He got drafted in 2014 or 2013. So that means this is his 10th or 11th year in the league. So he's probably 32. Who's the best wide receiver? Who's the best wide receiver out of Oklahoma to ever play in the NFL, in your opinion? This is what I was thinking about tonight watching the game. Best receiver from Oklahoma to play at Oklahoma to be in the NFL. Who do you think it is?
Man, wouldn't it be hard to argue?
Chat, help us out. Help us out. What's your opinion?
Wouldn't it be hard to argue against CeeDee Lamb?
I think you also got the recency bias with CD. He's really good, but is there anybody before him? Probably not. Probably not.
Hey, I got Hollywood Brown has been hurt too much, and to me hasn't.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'd probably go with Lamb too.
I've got to answer the question.
Steele's had some good years. I'll give Sooner Cowboy. That's a good name.
Hey, how many? Mark Clayton too. Mark Clayton was a good one. How many timeouts does Tampa Bay have? Someone put it in the chat. Hey, they 918. Kendall Daniels, when he came to OSU, he played mostly safety. He then transitioned more towards the line of scrimmage. So when Knowles was there, and he put on some weight too, now he's 240. He's a perfect Leo position player. He's a perfect player for the Leo position.
Yeah, he would play that role.
I am all for it.
Did you watch Caleb Downs the other night in that defense? Wow. Just roaming free all night long. Love it.
3 timeouts left.
Mark Andrews, Mark Andrews is unbelievable. Golly, what a career he's had. Does anybody remember how highly recruited he was? I don't think he was he was good, but was he? I think he was just turned out really good.
Recruiting wasn't even what it was. Eddie Hinton, Ron Brown says. Tommy
Shepard.
McDonald, since he's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, we got some oldies now.
Yeah, if you go all the way back, you're probably right. If you go all the way back. But yeah, so I'm trying to see this. Let me see if I can find this comment I was wanting to get to. I think Bobby was talking about. You talking about Keith Jackson, Bobby, tight end? Is that what you're talking about there? Mark was a 4-star recruit. I kind of thought he was a low 4-star, but yeah, 4-star. This would be wild. He could finish second in receiving yards all time.
Auburn doomed forever. Well, one thing OU did to climb out of the cellar is they're trying. They brought a quarterback in named John Mateer. Now Auburn brought in Jackson Arnold, so kind of a swap there as far as you took the quarterback that played at OU, where OU is in the cellar. OU goes and gets what at the time was the number 1 portal player, now number 2 player because of Carson Beck entering. I haven't followed enough of Auburn to see, except Auburn's done pretty well in the portal. OU's got a couple of good, 2 or 3 really good guys out of the portal, and the other ones we'll see what happens. Then hopefully OU, to pull themselves out of there, is also going to hire an elite DC.
Well, the thing though, I saw the projections from, I think it might have been SEC Mike and them. OU's ranked projected 2025 14th in the SEC out of 16. Wow. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough to keep your job if you're Brent Venables. Where was it up here? This question by Mr. Random. Who does OU get if Porter is let go after this year? I say call Will Wade. Here's what I would say to that, Mr. Random. Here's what I would say, Mr. Random. First off, it depends. If Joe C's making the hire, I think the number 1 guy they would go after would be Kellen. It's not Kelvin. Kellen, his son.
You try to get Kelvin if you can.
You're not getting Kelvin. Come on.
Other than that, Kellen, maybe Hollis Price, but hey, there's
Kellen's
no chance OU would go after. Hey, there's 0 chance OU goes after Will Wade. Hunter, why would they not get Kellen Sampson? They could get Kellen. A big-time SEC job, his first coaching job.
And David says, I don't think Carson Beck is that great. Tone Loke says, $6 million, you don't have to be great. That's exactly right. Go get paid, baby. Get paid and then go to the NFL, see what happens. It's a smart move.
There's no chance they're going to get Will Wade with all the stuff that he did.
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. Porter Moser was the up-and-coming guy. Like, a lot of people thought he was a great hire at OU. It just hasn't worked out in conference play. They've been great other than conference. Can't win in conference. Can't win in conference.
It's Eagles-Bucks next week if Bucks win this game.
Yeah. Hunter, who you going to root for in that game, bud? Eagles or Baker? I know you'd root for the Eagles, but nothing he did would be illegal now. Same with Kelvin. I mean, Kelvin got slapped on the wrist for that, but it's not the same as it used to be. It's just not. Correct. Hey, let's open up the phone lines. Let's do it.
Yeah. And someone give us an update on the game. By the way, check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com. Thefanstop.com. They have great officially licensed college apparel. It's locally owned. Go check out the Shirt of the Month clubs. You can look at the different packages they offer. There's all kinds of things on that website, thefanstop.com. And for 10% off, you can use our code SURGE to get 10% off your first 3 months. You don't have to leave your house. They ship every month. They're always great, different design, never repeats. Great. Thefanstop.com. Phone lines are open. Call in, give us your take on whatever it is you want to talk about, because that's what we do at the Sooner Surge here.
Yeah, that would be Hurts versus Baker. That'd be great. Moser needs to win the home. Here's the thing, Jerry. Either you win 2 games at home this week, or you're probably not making the tournament. You got to win them both this week. Texas and South Carolina. You got to win them both. Skins have the ball 20-20 steal. Hey, I'm going to go and drop trivia tonight. While we're waiting on some people to call in, I'm going to drop trivia. So here we go with trivia tonight. We mentioned Mike Evans a lot tonight. He's just absolutely superstar. His last year in college, they played Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl. I think Evans had 80-something yards receiving, didn't score a touchdown. He had a pretty good game. But somebody had a monster game, and that being Johnny Manziel. How many yards did Johnny Manziel rush for in that game? How many yards did Johnny Manziel rush for against
now,
Oklahoma?
They can Google this real quick.
You can Google it, but how many yards did he rush for? Unbelievable. I took a double take when I looked this today. I was like, wow. Not 200. I need the exact number, and I'm going off a box score. So you have to be what I have if you want to be right. Not 208. Not 182, Daniel says.
Hey, and
not
guess what? Guess what, Hunter? If it's fourth down, Dan Quinn's going to go for it anyway because he's done it all night. He's not playing to lose. Tampa Bay played to lose by kicking a field goal. They won't get the ball back likely.
There's the correct answer by 918. 229 yards rushing. 17 carries. He was running all over the field. That was unbelievable.
You can either play to win or you can play to lose. Tampa Bay played to lose by going for the field goal.
So where do they have the ball at right now?
They're on the Bucs side, but Jay, when you play to lose, you lose.
Yeah, that was a bad game. 41-13 was the final. They're on the Bucs 45. 41-35 or 41-13. Just not a good performance that game. I try to forget it as well. Yeah, the corner. It was just a bad
516 total yards.
Man, he was so good in college. You talk about a great college player. Manziel was unbelievable.
There's no question, Jay.
Yeah.
14-13 at the half, Aaron said. Yeah, man. It's crazy how Mike Stoops and BV together were elite. As they separated, it just wasn't the same on both sides at OU. Now, of course, when BV goes to Clemson, he was able to do great. Yeah, I'm not a big Todd Bowles fan.
He doesn't call the play. He doesn't call the plays.
No, but kicking the field goal was his call.
Okay, but he doesn't call the plays. I think they're offensive coordinators. It's the fumble that killed him. Fumble killed him.
They still got the ball back, so.
True. Remember Peyton, 275 yards.
They did score off that, Jay. They did score off that.
Yeah, they had talent on that defense. Daniel, you're right.
What year was that, Jay? What year was that?
2013.
I'm trying to remember some of the guys on that defense.
2013 was
not
Zach,
Dan.
What's that?
Not Dan Cody.
Dan Cody was like early 2000. Was like 2000.
Dan Cody.
I said 2013, Germ.
Oh, I thought you said 2003. I was like, what?
Tony Jefferson?
Tony Jefferson. Hey, look at that. Tony Jefferson.
Still playing.
Still playing.
Jimmy Wilkerson. Man. Yes. Loved Jimmy Wilkerson, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, there were some good guys on that defense for sure. Hit the like. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tom Moore. I like Tom Moore too.
Jay, you thought Tom Moore was going to be better than he was. I will say
I did. Like Corey Nelson.
You loved Corey Nelson too, Jay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious, Sooner Cal, but what's the reasoning?
Yeah, I would be curious with that too.
Is it because of his throwing motion? Is it what's the reason? Like, I'm just curious because he hasn't played in against big time competition. What's the reason that you're thinking Mateer's not going to be it?
Yeah, Landry Jones was the quarterback that year, Tone Load. Landry Jones.
Selene is ready for some Sooner Surge merch. Jay.
Yeah, we got to get that going. I agree with her on that. Did Nelson go to Dallas Skyline? I don't know off the top of my head. I thought it was in that area. Stryker was on that. He was what? Yeah. He had to have been what, a freshman?
No,
he would have been a sophomore, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Quentin Carter was later, I thought, John. I could be wrong, but
he did go to Skyline.
Corey did go to Skyline, and Stryker didn't play in that game.
No, but I'm trying to remember what year he was. I thought he was fairly young. Freshman. There it is, Daniel. Daniel was on that team. Freshman. So there you go. Man, hopefully the Bucs can pull this out, guys. Joe C. owns worst SEC football and basketball teams. Well, right now, you're right. What's up, Hookem? Welcome to the show. I know you got to be frustrated after that loss, but hey, y'all made it to the playoff, made it to the final four. So Don't want to give moral victories, but that does
And
stink.
like I said, guys, everyone who said it was smart to kick the field goal, not smart at all. They're not getting the ball back.
How many timeouts does Tampa Bay have?
They played to lose.
Yeah.
Period.
You got to you got to. Well,
if it's 4th and 3 and I have Baker Mayfield, I'm going for it. I don't care. I'm winning the game right there.
You're not a head coach in the NFL.
I absolutely am not.
And Jerm, if they don't get it, everybody rips them for not kicking the field goal and tie the game. So
well, instead, now you never get the ball back, and Baker doesn't have a chance.
You can do that because you're sitting in your chair in front of your OU stuff. I don't care.
Cool, Jay.
You don't know, Jerm.
I've already told you if I was a coach, I'm playing to win every game. I'm not ever.
You're punting you're never punting the ball. That's you.
That's settling right there what they did.
You would never punt the ball in your life. I know you. I remember coaching with you in flag football. Flag football. It was always trick play, trick play, trick play. Run something that you know works. Trick play, trick play, trick play, trick play.
Hey, Hunter.
Just like Madden, Hunter.
Dan Quinn hasn't taken the porch two or three times, and guess what? They're winning the game. They're moving on.
Yeah, Bowles will get fired.
I guess that's what's happening, huh?
Bowles will get fired, I think.
And you know what else I promise you, Jay? Baker Mayfield will say something after the game about going for it. Baker Mayfield wants the ball in his hands, not a kicker's hands.
But let me throw this scenario out there. You kick the field goal, your defense comes out and stops them, you get the ball back to kick a field goal and win it. So
big if.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to kick the winning field goal. Everybody knows that now. Are we playing Georgia next year? No, it's Dakota.
No, same schedule.
Same schedule as last year, except the road games are now at home. That's it. Everything's the same, except Michigan. But
they're not getting the ball back tonight. This is unbelievable, dude.
3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 with 54 seconds left, it looks like. Game over. Yeah. Yeah, the Bucs D this year was not very good. They dropped off, I think, a little bit this year. Their offense got better and their defense went south.
Well,
hey, guys, Washington
for Eagles.
Oh, yeah, it's big for the Eagles.
I mean, I'd much rather play, if I'm an Eagles fan, Washington than Tampa Bay. But
I would too. If I were them. Bowles been fired twice. If he were to get fired, he won't be because he's a head coach. They don't play Washington, Jerm. There you go.
Oh, that's because I forgot the NFL does it of who plays the worst team. Yeah, they change it. It's not based off bracket.
No, they play the winner of LA, Minnesota.
I thought they would play the Bucs if the Bucs won tonight.
If Bucs lose,
yeah. They switch it. It's not bracket.
Hey, Minnesota's a team that they're not making it very far. They're going to do the normal Minnesota stuff.
Daniel says, I think the schedule is tough, but is it because of the actual talent of those teams or the names of the teams who are playing that does make sense? Man, it's both. Don't you think, Jay?
I mean,
I say it's both.
Look who you're not. I mean, I think it's the talent because Ole Miss, traditionally, you wouldn't think that would be just a killer game, but they've been really good as of late, talent-wise. I mean, you could go. I mean, who else? Who else is OU playing next year? I think traditionally, South Carolina is another one. South Carolina is traditionally not just an SEC power, but they kind of are now.
Not just that. Who's OU lost to in the past few years, Jay? Better talent or names? Neither. It's been worse of both. Kansas is of the world. K-State's of the world. OSU has not. I mean. And I tell you what, it's really 2 years ago that everyone wants back. If OU would have just beaten OSU or Kansas and gone to the Big 12 title game, there would have been a lot more grace for a lot of things.
Yeah, and I think it just depends.
Navy.
Navy. Don't bring up. Why are we bringing up Navy? Can't bring up that game. Seriously. Tony wasn't appreciated like he should have been, one of the best ever. Yeah, Tony Jefferson.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. He was one of the most underrated guys, I think.
Absolutely was.
I mean, he was a dog, period.
He's a dog. He's another coach on the field. I mean, you name it.
Hey, whatever happened to Norwood? Whatever happened to Norwood? He started out really good.
Pittsburgh. He went and played at Pittsburgh, but
he started out really good at Pittsburgh, but didn't hear much after him after that. So, yeah.
Hey, and Sooner Cowboy, he hasn't proven to be one yet. I agree. Hasn't proven to be one yet. He's in the UFL now.
Now, Daniel says if BB would have stayed with Jefferson, would be an all-time great. Man, yeah, that whole
how many years stuff? He's not retiring yet.
Hey, do you remember the BB? Remember the fans just? I mean, I remember the same thing, thinking, man, maybe BB, maybe the defenses were getting worse, and maybe it's just because we were so spoiled with OU's good defenses for years that I don't know. The fans just want to run him off. Do you remember that situation?
Oh yeah.
Game over, people says. So they must have got the first
down.
Not
over yet. They've got a first down, they said, but
hey,
it's not over.
Mark says NIL is killing college football. Here's the thing, Mark. It doesn't matter if it's killing it or not. It is college football now. You got to either get on board or get off. I mean, it's not going to change. There might be some limits put on it, but it's not going to change much.
If some people would argue it's making it better. Hey, yeah, guess what, Hunter? Everyone who said they would have kicked the field goal, wrong decision now, backfired. That's just
Notre Dame.
That's the way football is, though.
Yeah, Notre Dame's getting paid buku of money for this play. They got to do something about the conference stuff. And hey, it would never happen. We talked about this the other day, John, me and you. It would never happen. But what do you think the reason is? If you go look at Notre Dame, all this money they're getting in the playoffs, they have an NBC contract. They get all that money. What's the holdup for teams saying, I'm going to go independent? What do you think the holdup is? Because of the money in conferences? They're worried about all the stuff you'd have to do as an independent?
I mean, you get money in the conference that Notre Dame's not getting. I get that Notre Dame's getting so much money to themselves when they win it.
I understand the fear of it going wrong, but
you also got to think about now, could you just do it in football? Yeah, Notre Dame does. I mean,
and Boomer Sooner says we're only saying it's killing it because we don't have the money to compete. If we were in A&M, Ohio State, or Ole Miss, we could. And that's partially correct, but I don't know. I think
how much of it is OU doesn't have the money though? That's the other thing.
Or is it they're not spending the money? Stubby says, "Hey guys, can't stay, but feel bad for Baker. He's playing defense can't help, but defense isn't playing good."
And Stubby, that's why when you're down 3 on the 15-yard line, you go for the win. 4th and 3 with Baker Mayfield, you go for the win. If you don't get on 4th down, guess what? You're in the same boat. Stop them and get the ball back, and you get a field goal to tie it. They should have went for the win. They didn't do it. Blame themselves.
And Daniel's saying, I think they underperformed in the 2011 season when started number 1, put a target on BV. Had we stayed in the top 3 that season or made it the BCS, fans, I don't know, it got clicked off, but fans would not have called for him to go. And that's fair, probably. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, true. So the game's over, apparently, correct? Bucks lose. So guess what? When they didn't get it for 4th down, when I said they won't get the ball back.
You know what? Do you want me to say you're right all the time? Hit the crossbar and went through. Wow. Baker's out, doinked it in. That's unbelievable. And it wasn't even that long of a field goal. That's weak. But they got the W. Doinked it in, double doink.
Good job, Bowles. You have one of the most clutch quarterbacks in the game, and they do not give him a chance to win the game. It's abysmal coaching. And I get Baker fumbled, and Baker cost him 2. 4th and 2 or 3 from the 15, I'm going for it.
Yeah, Bowles won't last. Bowles will be gone, I think. It was a good game. It was a good game. Hey, Dallas, Dan Quinn leaves. And here Dallas Cowboys are just going to keep Mike McCarthy. I'm so done with Dallas Cowboys. It's ridiculous. They're going to keep Mike McCarthy again.
Absolutely will, Jay.
Why?
I don't, Jay. I'm not Jerry Jones. You know that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mac here. I think you got to kick the field goal too.
Well, looking back, it was wrong, wasn't it? It was the wrong decision now, wasn't it, Jay?
No, their defense didn't get a stop. Had nothing to do with the decision.
Jason, if they would have went for it and got stopped, what was the score?
They were down 3. They would have lost it. They would have still lost.
Not if they get a stop.
Well, if they get a stop
anyway. It's the same scenario either way, dude.
Jerem, I'm not going to sit here and argue over a Tampa Bay Washington game on a kick and a field goal down 3, okay? They didn't stop them.
But, hey, Washington probably wouldn't have been running the same offense. They're going for the win.
Daniel says, breaking news, Jerry Jones understands his incompetence and is stepping down. I hope that is breaking news. Please tell me that's true. I don't think it is.
No, that's no chance.
I would be so happy. But then who's it going to go to? His son? Maybe his son's a lot better. I don't know.
Phone lines are open. Give us a holler.
I knew you were joking.
There's really not a lot to talk about tonight, honestly. I mean, all's quiet.
Not for OU football right now. You're kind of at a waiting game on different things. You're waiting on the DC. You're waiting to see you got winter workouts starting. See what you're going to have in the spring. You know what's crazy though? Today is what, January 11th? Is that right?
Yeah. 12.
Spring practice starts in about 2 months. Something like that.
Oh yeah.
Mid-March, right?
Yeah.
Maybe later March, but I think it's a couple months away. It'll be here before you know it. Bulls has made the playoffs back-to-back years. That's true, Tone Logue. That is true. You're right about that. So maybe they don't. I just think they feel like they should have went farther. But
yeah, Joe John Finley is still on OU staff.
Hey, didn't Bulls win a Super Bowl?
I don't know, John.
With Brady? With Brady? Was he the DC? Oh, he was the DC at that one. Okay. Who was the head
coach? John Finley still on staff.
Oh, it was Bruce Arian. Bruce Arian was the head coach.
Yeah. Yes, still on staff, and it looks like he's. I mean, again, why would he not be on staff now if he's made it this long?
Yeah,
They're not going to make a move late, are they? Is it February 14th, 11th? What's the date?
Hunter will drop it in.
Mid-February.
Grinch is coming back, baby. I love these comments. We got a caller on the line. We got Coconut Greg. What's up Sunday evening? How are you?
Doing well. Yourself?
Doing good.
Hey, quick question for the Sooner Surge crew here. So this Jim Knowles considering Oklahoma. I haven't heard it anywhere else, sports radio, any other content creators. Is this a Sooner Surge rumor here, or where did this come from? Where do we think?
Here's what I'm going to say. A lot of people, I mean, people actually talked about it on here because they had read it other places. And when I say other places, I'm talking about those that are in the know with Oklahoma. Like, I think like Sooner Scoop, some others that have mentioned it very briefly.
Yeah.
Jay, I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think some of the insiders put stuff out that was a possibility on a big name DC hire. Now, I'm not an insider, so I don't pay for the site, so I don't know exactly what they say. I just know it was rumored. And Boomer Sooner says rumors Knowles reached out. I said this last night, Boomer Sooner. I think it would be more of that than BB reached out to him. I would.
And what I said, Greg, was I do have a source that was somewhere where it was talked about with the fiance and things like that.
Okay. If it is him reaching out to OU, how crazy is that? Like, potentially, if we get him, I mean, what kind of a stroke of luck is that? It's insane. Hopefully it works out. And yeah, but it's talk about just complete 180 of what you thought it could have been, right?
Yeah, it really would be a crazy deal. It would be. And I saw Selene's comment, baby watch on the Surge. We got Coconut Greg and KB Longhorn, both, I think, similar dates for due dates. So as Selene puts on there. So coming soon, right?
Yeah, I will call in from the hospital room as she is delivering, so everyone can be there for the newest member of the Surgeaholics.
Oh, that's great, man.
Hey,
y'all have a good night. Talk to you later. See ya.
You too. Hey, Jay, but on the Jim Knowles stuff.
Yeah.
So let's just. I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about. So let's just say this: what are some things we probably could say? Yeah, makes a lot of sense. One, obviously being where your fiance is. Two,
that's one.
Two, making as much money. I mean, probably would be a pay increase. Three, it doesn't affect him at all who the coach is at OU. So whether or not BV is here for 2 years or just next year wouldn't affect him as DC because he's the best in the game. What would the risk be? I hear you're Jim Knowles, Jay. What's the risk?
Well, you'd be leaving somewhere that's in a really good spot right now at Ohio State.
But if they win it all, he would already have done that there.
I don't
win
know,
it somewhere else.
Maybe also that. What do you think Jim Knowles wants to do after being a DC? Does he want to go to the NFL? Does he want to be a head coach? What would it be? That would be. See, this is something that you never know. Listen, you never know this in these coaching situations. People say it all the time. Why don't they just go promote Brandon Hall, guys, or Todd Bates? Maybe Todd Bates and Brandon Hall don't want to be a DC. Nobody knows any of that stuff unless you're within the program. So all that stuff, nobody knows if Jim Knowles wants to be the head coach in waiting. Yeah, but nobody knows if Jim Knowles wants to be head coach. And also, the head coach in waiting never works out. Hardly ever. Does it? Does it work out?
Not very often, Jay. And how would that language even be? It could be you would be considered for, but you mentioned guys like Brandon Hall and Todd Bates. If you make the step, look, if Brandon Hall were to go to DC or Todd Bates were to go to DC, you want to talk about a risk? If BV's gone, they're not going to be the DC. If you're just a D-line coach or a safety coach and you're a great recruiter, a new DC may keep you on. It's more risky for them guys than it is for Jim Knowles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I think Daniel put in there 40% chance. I'd probably say 45, 50. I'm kind of in agreement.
Jack Sawyer's gone. They're losing some dudes. Caleb Downs isn't gone, but they're losing some guys. It'd be a reunion with Kendall Daniels back in Oklahoma in big boy SEC football where he's been in the Big Ten. And Jay, let's just say this. Ohio State, Jim Knowles proved the other night that they can defend. He's done it against Oregon, Tennessee, Texas. His defense works.
Well, yeah, nobody said it didn't.
Against big-time competition.
Nobody said it didn't work.
You got to pay the man and get the man somehow, some way.
We'll see. Have to wait another week, at least a week and a half, 2 weeks to hear anything probably on it, because it is it's internal rumors right now.
It is, and the people that want to say, "Well, BV just," I don't know if he could do that. Listen, guys, very carefully. Jim Knowles is 60 or 61 years old. I get Ted Roof was older. BV and Ted Roof, that relationship was not the same as this. BV is not going to tell Jim Knowles how to run things. That would be discussed before he even stepped foot in an interview room.
Okie Lawn guy, you are on the line. What's up?
Oh my gosh, I am so hot, and it has nothing to do with OU football. It has to do with the fact that why is Baker cursed by terrible defensive coordinators?
Well, he did fumble though too.
Okie
Lawn guy, let me ask you a question.
I know he fumbled one time.
4th and 3.
One time.
4th and 3, you're on the 15-yard line. You're down 3. You got Baker Mayfield. Are you kicking a field goal there?
No.
Exactly. Me either.
So, do you think this needs to be the move tomorrow? Because the guy is wanted by everybody in the league, probably. You fire Todd Bowles and you hire Liam Cohen. Say you.
I don't know what they're going to do. I've heard a lot of people say Bowles on the hot seat, but then I also heard a lot of people say that they're okay with Bowles staying. So I don't know. I don't know what they'll do. What about Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach?
Oh, with Baker?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
I think
Baker
that ship
loves
is set.
Cohen, though, Jay. Baker loves Cohen.
Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the
Cohen's great.
thing.
I like Cohen too.
Yeah, I think Cohen has a great relationship with Baker, and that's what I hate to see. Like, if they don't do something, somebody else is going to nab him up, and then what are they going to do for the OC with Baker? He's going to be on his
Now,
eighth, ninth, 10th.
That's a great point. If they don't promote him, he will probably somebody's going to come after him as a head coach. You're right about that, and that could derail what they have going there. I see your point.
It would majorly derail it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I see your point. I could agree with that.
I would say, and just listening to your frustration, and I would say it's pretty similar for a lot of Sooner fans. Baker is one of the most beloved Sooners of all time. People want Baker to succeed as much as any former Sooner in the NFL.
Probably more than any.
Yeah.
Kyler does not get the same love that Baker got.
He does not. No way.
I don't understand it, but he doesn't.
He didn't plant a flag in Columbus, Jay.
Well, and he only played 1 year at OU.
1 year.
That's part of the difference.
And Baker was the guy that Bob Stoops like. I haven't even heard from him, so I don't even know if he's transferring. If I hear from him, I'm sure we'll offer him a scholarship.
Hey, I know your answer to this. You don't even have to answer this question.
Okay.
But this is for the chat.
Okay.
One play, you're on the 5-yard line. Do you want Baker or Kyler?
Baker? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that third round?
A lot of people would take Kyler.
No.
With his legs and stuff, I don't know, man. I think there are a lot of. I think you watch in the chat. There'll be a lot of people put Kyler in there.
Did you see that third down play he made though? He ran over Bobby Wagner.
Ran over him, man. It was unbelievable.
Bobby Wagner, dude. The guy's going to be a Pro Bowl or Hall of Famer.
You seeing it in the chat, Kyler?
They're saying
my
it because
gosh.
you said it, Jay. Jesus.
No, Kyler's really good, guys. I don't know why y'all don't think he's.
I never said he wasn't good.
Jay, come on. So you like Kyler over Baker? No, I'm just like in general.
I like Baker better, but Kyler in one play scenario, man, he's really dang good. I mean, with his legs, the way he can run, I don't know though.
How do we let Washington come in and beat us?
Baker has more of an it factor than Kyler. Like he has just something about him, I think.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me come on air, and I just had to get some rant off my chest. I was so irritated about this game tonight.
Bring it every night, Oakland guy. We're always live.
Hey, at least you didn't call in. I thought you were going to call in and talk about Porter Moser. And
oh God, don't get me
for another night.
Don't get me started. But I just had to
save that for Wednesday night. Hey, our live show Wednesday night. The game tips at 9:00 versus Texas, Jeremy. I don't know what.
Hey, the thing, it's funny. It was funny you say that because as soon as the game was over, I was like, I hope that Sooner Surge is still on the air because I got to call in and have some kind of vent moment here about my Bucks losing, mainly Baker losing. I'm just like,
well, I'm glad we're here for you.
So you guys have been there. You guys are here for me, and I appreciate it. So.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Jay, I want to get to two things. Yeah, go ahead and read Daniel's quote, and I'm going to.
Daniel says, "I agree that nobody knows, even the players, when the Lincoln hire happened. Strike and some of the other top defensive players wanted Jerry Montgomery to be the DC. Bob did not like that. So yeah, I mean, who knows really what's going on?
I've got it. And Hunter, you might not be able to find it. There's a comment, and I'm going to paraphrase. It said, well, if BV's not calling defense, making defensive decisions, what's he good for? What kind of comment is that? What's his role? His role would be head coach.
Head coach.
I'm going to give you some names right now.
Give me a name. Give me a coach of a head coach that's won a championship calling it.
Okay, Marcus Freeman, is he making defensive decisions? Well, granted, you make all the decisions, but Marcus Freeman's not calling offense or defense. Kirby Smart did not call the offense or defense when he won him. Jay, who else has won recently?
Well, I think the answer, we talked about this the other night. The last guy to do it was Jimbo Fisher, I think.
Yes. Hey,
To be
Jay,
like a true coordinator calling it and win a championship. People, I think we looked this up. People in the chat and said it was Jimbo Fisher. Maybe wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure
Nick
Tone Lutz
Saban
is
did
Nick
not call
Saban.
the defense. Kirby Smart did with him. Pete Golden or Pete Golding.
No, what was his name?
I thought it was Pete Golding.
Michael says I was correct on that. It is it? And somebody would have to hear. Saban's won so many freaking championships. I'd have to go look at every one. Maybe he did it in one of the earlier ones. I don't know.
And I got another interesting thing.
Malzahn before Jimbo. Okay.
I got another Malzahn's a good example. I got another interesting thing, Jay. I mean, BV and Jim Knowles have no history. I've went and searched. I've tried to find when they're on the same field together. Hasn't been a lot, especially on the same sideline ever. There are guys that are on your staff that you win and, you go hug and you get amped up for each other. And then there's guys on your staff that there could be some of this, but man, when you win, you're shoving them, you're all amped up. Come on, let's go. Because you know what they can do. It's not this, hey, mentoring thing. Jim Knowles doesn't need a mentor. You can let Jim Knowles get in there and cook the D and coach it up, and then you chest bump him and say, that's why I brought you in here. That's why you're here.
Yeah. I agree. And
this mentoring stuff is great when it works, but give me someone who's great at what they do, who doesn't need a mentor any day of the week.
And hey, Gus was the head coach, Michael. I believe he was the head coach. Chuck says, guys, some took the Jim Knowles thing and went crazy. It's all smoke.
Who's some? Who is some? Call in, Chuck. Tell me who some is. That's an indefinite pronoun. We can't use indefinite pronouns here because some could stand for anyone.
Hey, and AD says, to be fair to him, the question was any defensive decisions.
What do you mean?
I'm
not ripping AD. I'm saying his role would be head coach. Jay?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. But
any defense, the only defensive decision he needs to make if Jim Knowles is here is none. I mean, like he may be consulted a time or two, but Jim Knowles wouldn't need anyone to make a defensive decision. So, I'm trying to think of my own life, Jay, and I've got examples. I don't want to share too many personal examples, but it is so great mentoring, man. I love mentoring others, especially when they become successful. And it sucks to mentor someone when there's failure. But you know what? It's great to also have someone where they're just it. You don't need to mentor them.
Yeah, and I got to correct.
Iron sharpens iron.
I got to say that Michael Neal was correct. Gus Malzahn was the OC. Correct, Michael. Good job. I mean, you're right on with that. So, way to be.
Iron sharpens iron.
Iron sharpens iron. Really Real says, I said the other night that Bob Stoops hinted that BV could run the defense if he needs to, and he referenced other coaches that do it. Hey, there's no doubt BV can run the defense. I don't think that's a question. And it's not like if that happens next year, I think the defense would be fine. The question is, would the whole team be fine with him concentrating on that? That's what you got to ask yourself. Is it better for Brent Venables next year to run the defense, or they have somebody in there that he's basically running the defense, a.k.a. Wes Goodwin, or is it better if they went totally opposite and got somebody else to do it completely? What would be the better fit for Oklahoma next year?
Having someone else do it, BV just coaching.
That's the question you would have to ask.
Hey, and Sooner Cowboy, I've got to just combat this take right now. I am so sick of hearing about the morale stuff. Let's zip it. There are teams winning right now that after the game they're saying all great things. They have great morals. Has nothing to do with whether or not you have high morals. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
go back to that tape.
Did you go see
back to
Texas?
the micromanaging tape?
Yeah. Did you see Texas after the game? They were pretty good morals when they were talking after the game, post game.
People need to understand that almost all successful coaches and had coordinators that could do the job without the micromanaging. The greats have said that. BB needs to find guys like that, period. And Bob Stoops is a perfect example. Bob Stoops had coordinators that could do it themselves.
He could have called it, but he didn't. Yeah, you're right. And listen, there's what you got to realize is this. There's a difference between just being the DC and when you say, like, let other guys do it, that doesn't mean BB doesn't know what's going on the defensive side of the ball. That means I'm sure he's in there game planning, whatever, going over the stuff. But you got a guy on game day who's going to call everything, and you're not having to worry about it. And you got during the week, he's scheming it all out. You're not having to worry about it. You're there, but you're not like the main focus of it. Chuck says, okay, Jay, 3 reasons why he would come here.
He wants germ. It says germ, not Jay later. So let me answer it.
Okay.
3 reasons why he would come here other than a woman. Okay, I've got it here. 1.
When a man loves a woman. What's it? Finish that lyric. When a man loves a woman, finish it.
I'd have to hear the song, Jay. I know the song, but
can't keep his mind on nothing else.
Question. Can't keep his mind on nothing else, I think. Okay. Anyway, 3 reasons. 1, been there, done it at Ohio State. Move elsewhere. Can't keep his mind on nothing else. I was right. I can't comment on it, Chuck, because I don't know what the work relationship is like at Ohio State, so I can't comment on that. Maybe he would. Maybe I can't even comment on that, Jay, because I don't know. But 1, if he wins this year, he could then go do it at another school, and maybe he thinks maybe I'll be a head coach sooner if I go to the Sooners. But I think you answered your own question. He's 61. He's a grown man. Maybe the woman, maybe he would want that. I mean, like, come on. Why can't that? Why is that not a reason enough?
Here's what you also can't. I don't know. Listen, I don't know if this is even going to happen with the Jim knows whatever. But here's what I got to say.
$3 million. $3 million.
Here's what I got to say is this: anybody that makes really good money like that, and maybe the most important thing is being with a woman. I mean that moving to where she's at. I don't know. I don't know his situation. I don't know what he wants.
It's gonna have to be $3 million, in my opinion. Okay, and
be logical.
Okay, I am logical. There was a comment here. It was this right here. I got to say something on this. Could it be that Knowles might know defense better than Venables? The narrative that Venables is the greatest ever at defense might not be true. And here's the deal. Do you know what I do when someone asks me a question I don't know? I either go find it myself, or I go find someone who knows the answer.
Wait. I didn't think there was anything you didn't know. The way you talk, it sounds like you know.
You're
everything.
Funny, Jay. I go find the answer myself. Guess what? BB's tried that. He tried it with Ted Roof, Zach Alley. We can go Jeff Levy, Seth Luttrell. Tried it myself. Or maybe I'm going to go try. I'm going to go find someone who knows how to win in the big time games. The guy's name is Jim Knowles.
And
you know when that happened, Jason? Here's what BB.
Maybe you should go look it up. How old he is before he's 59. When you don't know the answer, don't know the answer, you go look it up.
Yeah, I need to go look it up. Hunter can verify that. Jay.
Yeah.
You made me lose my train of thought. But guess what happens when you go find someone who knows the answer? Not only do you win out in that, but guess what else you do? You still look okay in that. You show some humility. You show that you're not it by yourself, that you need other people, and you do it together. Got this. Well, it says together right here on this thing.
Well, and you know what Daniel said earlier, and you can go back and look at the past coaches like Saban. You know what's always better than not? You're always better having more minds in there than not. Like different minds, really good defensive minds instead of all the same. It's nice to have, I mean, in any job, it's nice to have different opinions, different ways to do things. So, I don't think it'd be a problem.
Hey, and Knowles is just a different scheme. It's not a lot different. I've talked about this on here and people have come at me. I said there's a lot of similarities. Now, I've even heard other people say it's the exact same scheme. It's not. It's not. It just isn't the exact same. But there's a lot of similarities. Chuck, he's getting about $2.2 million at Ohio State. If they win a natty, his pay raise, he's getting a pay raise. That's why
Here's what I would say.
Close to $3 million.
Jern, listen, I think you're stretching things a little bit by saying they would have to pay him $3 million. Because wait, is
that's
he
a personal opinion, Jay?
Okay, but listen, my opinion is this. Would he be coming to OU for money or other reasons?
I would think it would be other reasons, but I think
then you would have to pay the $3 million probably. Just make it a little more logical.
The demand is going to be there, Jay. Use your logical brain.
Okay.
You're in sales. You know how this works.
Okay.
Supply, demand.
Gotcha. I'm more concerned and interested in Arbuck on the offense. And Dalpost, you're 100% right. That's going to be the main thing next year. I think defense is going to be good. Either way, I think they're going to be good. Offense, I think offense will be a lot better.
Mr. B's coming over here because I think Mr. B was against the Jim Knowles stuff, weren't you, Mr. B? Hey, I've got to say this too, Jay. Sometimes you just need a change of a changing of the guard in some of the areas, just with mindset and mentality, man. I mean, you bring a guy like Wes Goodwin in, or you move Brandon Hall. I mean, it does keep consistent. Do we really? Oh, you agree with me on the getting paid. Do you really want consistency if it's been bad, or do you change it up a little?
Who knows? I mean, KB says if they win a natty, he'll remain at OSU until he's head coach. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know if he wants to be head coach or not. That's what I don't know. The other one is this. Chuck says, OU, I hate to see Jerm if he isn't the guy OU gets. Please have someone on standby. Jerm, we may have to. You went all in on this. I mean, I'd say, Jerm, this one is a
I went all in on it.
This is a beep, reel that thing in. Hook, line, and sinker. Jeremy's all in on this, and there is no stop.
That fish was this big.
Hey, and it keeps growing. It keeps growing, Jerm.
And they may not, Jay. They may not. Whatever.
You got a 29-pound catfish.
And I may be. And you know what?
Hey, real quick, I got to say something. If you know Jeremy at all, and if you've watched this show for any time, when Jeremy goes in on something, there's no halfway. He is.
No, and the Bucks should have went all in. The Bucks should have went all in too.
So
and Jay,
yeah.
Partly true, but not all partly true. What I would say, Jay, about this is here's what I'll say if they don't get Jim Knowles or they don't get a big time DC. It's the same as it was last year, right? No need to panic, I guess. The defense was good last year, right? That's what you're saying. I'm saying, but you could go get here. Now, if you don't, what's the worst that's going to happen? You have all your guys back. You have some consistency.
I'll say this. As I close. My last thing I'll say is, to me, if it's not Jim Knowles, I don't think it's another big-time DC they're going. I think it's probably just going to be Wes Goodwin or Brandon Hall or somebody like that. Would you agree?
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah.
And Hunter knows this analogy because I use it in classes all the time. Sometimes you got to go to the deep waters. Everyone just listen. Be patient with me.
Oh,
you got to go to the deep waters. You can stay in the shallow end, and you're just going to be sitting there pattering around, or you can stay on the beach, and you'll just be in the sand with your dipping your toes in the sand. You go out in the deep waters where the sharks are, where it gets all these things. You take risks. I'm at least going to throw the line out there. I promise you that. I'm throwing the line way out in the deep waters, not over here pitter-pattering where the kids are building sand castles and diving for little rings on the 3-foot end, Jay. I'm chunking it out there. If I get the big fish, so be it. If I don't, I'm going to go sit in the sand and play with the sand castles and all that, and everything will be great.
You know what's so funny coming from you? You can't even swim.
That's correct.
And you're talking about deep waters. You haven't been past the little baby foot toddler pool.
It's an analogy, Jay. It's an analogy.
Have you ever? Let me ask you this: if you were to
get,
I
have a problem with? You know what I have a problem with, Jay? You know what I have a problem with? Sooner fans who are just soaking it up. in the sand acting like it's all fine and great. Go get the big fishes.
Hey, Germ, do you still wear floaties in the pool? Yes or no?
In the pool? No, I don't go
How
in the
about, how about
I
in the
doggy
ocean?
paddle. I doggy
What-
paddle.
What would you wear in the ocean?
Well, I probably wouldn't be in the ocean without a life jacket.
That's what I thought.
And unfortunately, the Sooner football team has been relying on life jackets under the BV era.
Chuck, it is a really good show. One thing I have to say that, man, there is a lot of language in there that I could do without, but it's a really good show. I'm still watching it. But man, it's got me hooked. I think we're 4 episodes in. We like it.
Hey, it's been fun tonight, everybody. We do this every single night, 9:30. Tell others, any other Sooner fans that you know, get them on this community of Surgeaholics. You guys are great in the chat. We really appreciate you. Thanks, everyone. Good luck to those praying for those who are getting ready, expecting to be new parents here in the chat. That's exciting news. Prayers to you guys. Check out the fan stop at thefanstop.com. Hit the like, turn on those notifications, and we will see you tomorrow night. Have a marvelous Monday. Go for the deep waters. Don't settle for the shallow waters.